Now, let's just very briefly come on to the issue of farming. And here's Therese Coffey, because she has been a couple of days ago launching the Nature for Finance event. This is all about bringing together farmers, land managers, investors, and conservation experts to identify new investment opportunities to drive forward actions to mobilize investment in nature recovery while continuing to keep the nation fed, is the claim. I'm going to suggest that, in fact, keeping the nation fed is the last thing on the government's minds with respect to farming, at least, and I'll explain what that means in a second. But just want to remind everybody that, of course, we're in a situation at the moment where farmers are not getting any support to grow food. At the moment, they're getting support to grow wildflower meadows and other returning the land to nature kind projects at the moment. It's getting to the point where farmers are earning less money, if they're earning any money at all, actually growing arable crops, as opposed to taking the government money for growing various types of herbal fallow land production and so on. So I'll also just remind everybody that although the farm animals are not exempt from pressure from government, we'll just have a look very briefly at what the latest and what's going on in Dartmoor with respect to this, because farm animals, of course, have been roaming the common land in Dartmoor for hundreds of years. Just remind ourselves of this from March this year. Nature on Dartmoor, reflections from Wes Smith, Natural England's area manager, on how we can ensure Dartmoor's unique wildlife is preserved for future generations. And the way they want to preserve it is to take the farm animals off the common land in Dartmoor. So Natural England is the government's advisor for the natural environment, and they very much want to see that the relationship between farming, nature, and other impacts like climate change are not in balance, and nature is declining in a way that may jeopardize the huge value that Dartmoor brings to local communities and visitors. So they want to see farming gone effectively from that. Now, we highlighted this a few months ago, and this was a tweet from Dr. Adrian Colston talking about comments that the efforts to remove farm animals from Dartmoor are the greatest catastrophe for nature and farming in my lifetime, because in fact, there's no way to control, in this case, Millennia, which is a grass that grows in Dartmoor. It would be out of control without these animals. Now, but the question is, what's this really about? Well, I'm going to suggest, I'm not saying, but I'm going to suggest this is about the industrialization of food production in this country, because we want to take the small farmer away completely. We're seeing this with the culling of cattle in the foot and mouth, right through to the modern day with the culling of chickens and other birds as a result of so-called bird flu. But we've got this going on as well. Genetic Technology Precision Breeding Act now enact. New genetic technologies could help us tackle some of the greatest challenges of our age around food security, climate change, and biodiversity loss. I believe this is what is actually going on here. We want to see so-called agri-innovation bringing food production out of the fields and into factories and return the fields, they say, to nature, as if farmers haven't been managing nature for hundreds and hundreds of years.